know. Have a seat. No, I don't want to hear it.
And come on, places in the old. Yeah, 6 hours, 8 minutes. Minute.
Hey, sit down.
And you can ask the person this question, and say, okay, I hear you. What you're saying. And, but if the Jacobs have been going through this, and I was 2,000 years ago, can you show them that Mary comes to you and you let that and take it back? I said, then why would you call him that if it did exist back then? But I didn't want nothing. Everybody do eat? Finish eating? All right. So Shay, you guys think we want to sing today? If not, we can do it after.
Whatever you want me to do.
I'll tell you what, we can do it after. Show appreciation to the Most High.
Okay.
For what we eat today, physically and spiritually. Hallelujah. Sister Tricia, I found out that Sefer is downloaded for free. It's an abridged Sefer. It don't have the apocrypha. It's got everything except the apocrypha. I downloaded it for free. I got excited. I got happy. I said, this is the one. And I hit Jubilees. I hit all the apocryphas. I hit the regular one.
Is there a book with Thomas?
The epistles of Thomas. You'll find it on the Pseudo-Graphica. That may have been added on some of those books. You might want to do the history of it to see where it originated from. Because a lot of times we had, there were some of the early church fathers that brought some stuff, but it wasn't original. You know what I'm saying? Why I like where we are now? Because it caused me to be a detective. I did. I said, I'm not satisfied with this answer. I gotta keep digging. I don't stop till I get it.
She was interested in trying to know what Shabbat Shalom.
Peaceful Sabbath. Yes, Shabbat is Sabbath.
Okay, what about this B word right here?
Pesach, that's Passover. Pesach means to pass over. That's the Hebrew language. When you go to the Bible, it has two places that it says Easter in the New Testament. Mistranslation. If you look up Strong's concordance of the word that's supposed to be there, it's going to say Pesach, Passover. So to me, if somebody's trying to slip something in on us without us knowing, and we accept it. Now, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let me go ahead and start the recording that and resume recording. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Blessed are you, Yahuwah, Elohim, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with commandments and commanded us to engross ourselves in the words of the Torah. Hallelujah. And if y'all would you tell this man here to move off this table so I can see? Hallelujah. All right. Today, when we're dealing with truth, and based upon the questions that you asked, Sister Patricia, when we look, let me read this to you. I think I put a post or a video on Facebook about something, I can't remember what it was, but it had to do with obedience. It had to do with doing what's right. And it had to do with the Sabbath. Oh, the question I asked was, could pastors today be teaching the people that they lead to sin by not investigating and obeying the biblical Sabbath?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I also put, I know it's true because some of the pastors have told me out of their own mouths that they were afraid. Some of them have told me not only were they afraid, but they felt like they would lose members, and lose members, you're losing money, and you lose money, you got bills. And like I told our Haverine years ago when we were Haverining all those pastors, I said, no matter what you do, if you don't obey, you're going to lose members.
Mm-hmm.
If you do obey, that's part of it.
Yeah.
The Bible talks about a remnant. The Bible talks about a few going through the narrow gate. And it also talks about many going through the broad gate, which leads to destruction. And so I put that down there, and I'm going to show you what was said. I might need to do it this way. And they made a good comment. It was an ex-member here who has always known who we were as a people. But in Christianity, a lot of times they call it spiritualizing. This is what this must mean, because the Holy Spirit just told me. But you didn't check to see if it was confirmed in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So it may have been a good thought that came through your head, but it could be incorrect. So just to show you how that works. And most people, now listen how brainwashed we've been. When we think of Sabbath, what's the first thing people think of when they think of Sabbath? The average Christian, what are they going to think?
Sunday.
Sunday. And what goes along with Sunday?
Eating.
Right to you.
Before you get to the chicken. Church.
Church. Oh, church.
Church. So they associate Sabbath with church. So when I read this to you, you'll understand what I'm saying. Okay? And I brought correction in a loving way with several people to give me a heart saying that I handled the sister right. Okay? The question is, are pastors teaching those they lead to sin by observing man's way when it comes to the Sabbath and God's instructions or his laws?
Yeah.
Many have openly stated that they knew the seventh day was Sabbath, but they would lose members and money if they obeyed and changed. And change means to repent. The Hebrew word for change or to return is teshuvah. It means to return back to the original. So to change means to go back to where you came from.
That's right.
Okay? So I heard a wise man once say, if you compromise what is right to keep something that you cut, you're bound to lose it anyway.
That's right.
Daniel 7:25 says, and it speaks words against the Most High, and it wears out the 7 part 1. Talking about the enemy. Okay? Set one, and it wears out the 7 part 1s of the Most High, and it intends to change appointed times and law, and they are given into his hand for a time and a half a time, 3.5 years. This is another word for festivals, this appointed times. So, has not the enemy changed the appointed times?
Yes.
Has he changed the Sabbath?
Yeah.
Which is also appointed time, all right? Most saints tithe. Think about it.
Yeah.
They work all week.
Yeah.
Saturday they get their stuff together. Stay in church all day Sunday.
Yeah.
Monday they go back to work. We had a good time at church yesterday. Ooh, I'm so tired. It wears the saints out, okay? And so then I put Exodus 30, 31, and 12. The Sabbath 7th day is our mark. That Hebrew word for mark is oath, which means a sign. a distinguishing mark, okay? So if it's a distinguishing mark, that means the mark is there to point out something particular, right? So Exodus 31 says in 12, and Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak thou unto all the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbath. Whose Sabbath? Now, the reason I put this is because I had a business associate to call me on the Sabbath. And they said, Darrell, I'm so sorry, I forgot this your Sabbath. Our Sabbath is tomorrow.
This your Sabbath.
And my statement was, this is your Sabbath.
That's right.
That's Catholic Church Sabbath. You just ain't goddamn moving. Yeah, I can talk to them like this.
Yeah.
They live in Birmingham. And so they just laughed because they knew I was telling the truth, right? And so speak unto the children of Israel, verily my Sabbath you shall keep, for it's a sign, a distinguishing mark between me and you throughout your generations. How far is generation? Until it stops. When will it stop? It don't look like it don't stop. And that you may know, this mark of the Sabbath, say that you may know that I am Yahuwah that does set you apart. The first day Sabbath is the mark of the Vatican, and it's anti-Messiah. Sunday Sabbath is the mark of the Vatican, and it's anti-Messiah. It is not biblical. It is not our Savior. Plus, the Vatican is steeped in sun god worship, Sunday worship, sunrise service, sun halo, sun cross, and sundowns, etc. You can go to any Catholic church, they got signs and pictures of suns everywhere. All you got to do is go to Google and the picture of Cesare Borgia, the European Jesus, what's around his head? A halo, a sun halo. What's on the cross? A sun cross. The cross with a circle on it. See, the delusion will cause you to not think.
Yes.
Because you're not willing to be obedient. As soon as a person is willing to say, you know what, I'm going to check this out. I just want to be in his will. Guess what? Your eyes open up there.
Yeah.
Now, if you say, we always done it this way, I love it. I want it. I want more of it. But guess what? Your eyes going to stay closed. Why? Because you're not willing to obey. So I heard someone speaking ignorance to me the other day. What I just told y'all. They said, I know your Sabbath's on the 7th day, mine is on the 1st day. I responded as to where they got their instructions from on observing the Sabbath. Their response was that this is the day the Christian church observed their Sabbath. Now, this is your Sabbath today. That's Christian Sabbath tomorrow. Okay? And it was changed years ago. I just shook my head, y'all, and did not attempt to change their mind. Malachi 3:6, for I am Yahuwah, I shall not change, and you, O sons of Jacob, shall not come to an end. Is that eternal? Psalm 119:89. But ever, O Yahuwah, thy word is settled. If his word is settled, can we go back and change it?
No.
Will he change it?
No.
See, critical thinking, as Brother Tommy says, okay? And now, Matthew 5:17, y'all know that's a good one. People will quote Paul, and you take them back to the Messiah and say, I understand what you think Paul is saying. But to be on the safe side, let's go back to the Savior and see what he said. Brother just got to talking to a workmate that he went to the scripture. He said, what does I did not come to abolish? He asked her, what does abolish mean? Do away with. He said, what does fulfill? She said, mean end. What does that mean? It's done away with too? She said, that don't make sense. No. I did not come to do away with it, but I came to do away with it. And he told her what it meant. And she said, that makes more sense. Remember what I told you. If pastor don't tell him. I don't care what the Most High in the Bible say. If pastor don't have no other gods before me. If pastor don't tell him, they ain't gonna believe it. That's why Yah allows you to, the church that call ourselves to fall up under a delusion. That's in the New Testament. So listen to what he said. Think not that I come to destroy the law. Destroy is a Hebrew term for misinterpret, improperly teach. Do not think that I came to misinterpret the law. or the Torah or the prophets. I am not come to destroy it, but to properly teach it and demonstrate so you have an example. That's what fulfill means. But barely, truly, right? I say to you, now watch this. To heaven and earth pass, not one jot or tittle, not one little vowel point, shall in no wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled. Y'all, is heaven and earth still here?
Yep.
Yeah.
If heaven and earth is still here, should the law still be here too?
That's right.
Do we have a new heaven and earth?
Nope.
No. So nothing has been fulfilled and completed. Okay. So then it says, whoever therefore, watch this now, shall break one of these least commandments. Y'all know the least commandment is taking a mama bird away from a baby bird. Okay. And shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom. So if I'm not teaching y'all the truth, and I teach you that, if I'm not telling you this, but I'm telling you what I say, I'm gonna be the least in the kingdom.
Yes.
But whoever shall do and teach them the truth, the same shall be called great in the kingdom. Now, then I told them to think about it. Now watch this. I want y'all to hear this. First person said people need to come out of days, period. Talking about Mama's Day, Daddy's Day, birthday, all these days.
Christmas Day.
Patrick's Day, all them days. May Day. If y'all, you need to look up May Day and see what May Day is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marie Walker says excellent. And then I sent it to two people. Now listen to this comment now. This is why I say we've been brainwashed and we don't know. We need to study and search out every scripture about the Sabbath so that we don't be ignorant.
Right.
The response, ex-member here, left a long time ago. Believe it or not, they do keep the Sabbath day holy by not having church on Saturday. What? We ought to do nothing, not even prepare our meals. If ministering the gospel is work, then you should not even have church on Saturday. Jesus said, any man, animal fell in a hole on the Sabbath, he would go get it. That tells me that they should not have church on Saturday.
Wow.
They wanted to crucify Jesus for healing a man on the Sabbath. That tells me that there should be no church on Sabbath. All right? With all due respect, you are partially correct. We are commanded to assemble on the Shabbat, Sabbath. Ministry is not work. I am open to sit down with you, my daughter, and discuss this line by line, precept by precept. Healing on the Sabbath is to do good. And that's a commandment. We're to show goodness and love. Okay? Our Messiah told us to do that. And mind you, if you look closely at the post, it is talking about obedience to Yah and not to man. Leviticus 23:3, 6 days work is done. But the seventh day is a Sabbath of rest. A set apart gathering. Is this a set apart gathering right here?
Yes, it is.
We all came together, right? You do not do no work. It is a Sabbath to Yahuwah. To who?
Yahuwah.
In all your dwellings, wherever you go, wherever you live.
Yeah.
A set apart gathering is the same as a holy convocation, which means for us to assemble together as family and community on the Sabbath, not have church. Much love, my dear.
Uh-huh.
And so there it is. So people think that we've been so bamboozled that the day, whatever day, Sunday or Saturday, they think it's church day. Okay. We assemble here. Why?
Yes.
Because he told us to have a convocation.
That's right.
So set apart. So we assemble here to what? To encourage one another.
That's right.
To study the word.
Yes.
To fellowship and eat.
Yes.
Just as the Bible says.
Yes.
Now on Sunday, what we did, we go there to be lectured for 45 minutes. And if it's past 45 minutes, we looking at our clock. Yeah, we be teaching, and it gets so good in here. We be teaching about 2 hours. Ain't nobody doing that.
Nope.
I said what we'll start doing after an hour, get you stand up and stretch and go pee and come back. Use the bathroom, sorry. I'm being recorded. Okay. And so So what happens is that it's not, and then church. Now listen, y'all know we did a teaching on church. The word church is circe, to worship in a circle. And it's a German word from the 1600s. It also means a building or a place. So the called out assembly is a living organism of people, live people who are called out of darkness into what? His marvelous light. So the called out assembly comes here, assembles here, because we need each other. That even people come over into this wall, they still be thinking church. They want to set up a bunch of guidelines. They want to make it be like church. And y'all say that ain't. Listen, the scripture song says, unless he builds the house, we labor in vain. There are ministry teams that are part of the assembly that work to make sure that everybody's fed, make sure everybody's taken care of, to make sure that the vision goes forward. Yo, Shaul had a ministry team that traveled with him. See, we got to start. Wait a minute, something ain't making sense. That's the first thing I'll come out now. Let's find out what the real deal is, okay? So today we're going to read the Book of Jubilees. Now, first of all, how many know what the Apocrypha is? The Apocrypha it means that which is hidden. That means all of these books that were in among the Dead Sea Scrolls in the very beginning were taken out of the Bible to hide some things. First of all, the enemy has been against Israel from day one. We're not talking about black and white now. So when I say Israel, think about people, okay? He has been at the firstborn of Israel trying to stop the coming of the Messiah ever since way back. We can go back to Moses, where the firstborn male was to be killed. So what makes you think it's any different now? The enemy still wants to destroy the firstborn male. So the Apocrypha means that which is hidden. Now, for whatever reason, it was taken out. In my opinion, I believe it was taken out to hide the identity and hide the purpose of Israel, or Yah's purpose through Israel. And when I say Israel now, I want you to picture the nation of Israel. I want you to picture the commonwealth of Israel. That's Israel and all those who are in covenant with Yah. You understand what I'm saying? Let me make a picture then. Let me paint a picture. Kevin's at the movie. He's 14 years old now. He's at the movie. Is Kevin my second one? Is he my blood?
Yes.
All right. Who I'm going to the movie to pick up?
Yeah.
Kevin. When I got to the movie, Kevin has 3 buddies with him. They're not related to me.
Right.
They said, can I get in the car? Can you give them a ride? I said, I will give you a ride if you don't do this. Yes, sir, we're going to do what's right. They get in the car, and gladly I treat them the same way I treat my son.
Right.
That's when you're talking about the sojourners, the mixed multitude among Israel. There's blood Israel, and then there are those that are spiritually connected, which is stronger than blood.
Right.
Because you had to go through the Messiah. Somebody did a teaching here years ago about the rights of an adopted son are sometimes stronger than the rights of a blood son. So we have to start studying and ask why and learn. So now, I started telling you a while ago, the biggest news thing now is the slave Bible. How many have heard about the slave Bible? They found copies of the slave Bible in museums. 90% of the Old Testament was taken out of it. Why? The Old Testament brings freedom, doesn't it? The Torah brings freedom, right? Because that's all we had was the Torah. I think about 20 or 30% of the New Testament was taken out. They left scriptures in, slaves obey your master. They left stuff like that. They took out the one that there's neither Greek nor Jew. They took that out, that we're all one. Anything that made us equal with the slave masters, they took that out. If you remember the movie, when Nat Turner's movie, Nat Turner's movie, as long as he was reading what the slave master said, the people were sitting there in the stoop, they were like this. He messed around and started reading Deuteronomy one day, and this is what they did. Raised up, opened their eyes, and all of a sudden they had hope. Faith coming by hearing. All right. Then on one of the latest Roots movie, Chicken George, when he was a little boy, took his mama to see the preacher. The preacher was preaching what the slave master had taught him to preach in Christianity. And Chicken George's mama told her, he said, I want to introduce you to Reverend so-and-so. She looked at it, she says, I don't want to have nothing to do with your God. And he looked up like, what? No, she said, why? She said, why you don't never read Deuteronomy? And he couldn't say anything because the scriptures bring freedom and truth, okay? You can take the writings and the letters in the New Testament and twist them to make them mean what you want to mean. That's why people always say you make the Bible mean what you want to mean. One thing about the Old Testament, it's cut and dry. Yeah. That means thou shalt not kill. How you going to twist that up any kind of way? Yeah. And so now you have a bunch of books that were in the Bible, and but they were taken out. Excuse me. In the Catholic Bible, they're still there. And I have people sending me messages, even pastors, where can I find the Apocrypha? Now, what does that tell me? That tells me that just like you were, Daryl, at one time, when somebody said, have you read the lost books of the Bible? Y'all know what my response was? If they lost, we weren't supposed to have no way. How ignorant was I? I didn't know about the Apocrypha. I had seen it before. I had seen it in Catholic Bibles when I was over at that monastery. But I didn't have enough knowledge to talk on it. So I just gave an answer and hoped they would obey. Because most pastors, outside of Torah, they want you to obey them. And a lot of them don't even give you a reason for obeying. They just say, because it's right. That's what they say. And you're not going to go behind them and search it out, for the most part. Pastor told me I'm all right. So we have these hidden books. Now, the Book of Jubilees. Man, let me go to Wikipedia. Jubilees, sometimes called the Lesser Genesis. It's a replay of Genesis, but more expanded. Genesis give this one happened on day one. Jubilee would tell you all the things that happened on day one. But like me and Marcia talk sometimes, and the other day I said something, they said, no, so. I said, okay, same thing. I just gave a generalized blanket statement, and assuming that you know what's inside the statement. So a lot of times if we don't study, we won't know what's inside the statement. We just go with a general thing. So it's called the Lesser Genesis. It's an ancient Hebrew religious work of 50 chapters, y'all. And now watch this. When you see the word canonized or canonical, it means added to. Not adding a new something, but attached as part of it. It was considered canonical, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, as well as Beta Israel. Have y'all ever heard of Beta Israel? The house of Israel. These are the Ethiopian Jews that's supposed to have the Ark of the Covenant and our guardian, and can't nobody get in that deal. So why is it that these Ethiopian Jews, they call them Jews, y'all know Judeans, why do they have so much information? They pass it down from generation to generation to generation. Like, I hate my daddy don't know a lot of our history. And the one that knew the history was Uncle Bird. And Uncle Bird going on. Well, Uncle Bird shared a lot with me and Tommy before he left about certain parts of our family. And some of them ain't too pretty. But yet, there it is. So we as a people of Hebrews or any nation, it is our responsibility to pass down the information about the family from generation to generation. Now, when we go back to, if y'all remember that night when we had everybody coming, we were doing Shabbat on Friday night, and we had many cultures in there, white, black, African, so forth, so on. And remember I asked Nate, how far back could he go? Nate went back to Uncle Somebody in Germany. I asked Jenny, how far you could go? She went back to Uncle Somebody in Germany. All right, our friend, what's his name? Our friend up there in Oxford Bay, that Pam. Pam has a family tree, and her tree has the names of their ancestors going way back. So then that night, I asked, Nate could tell you, Jenny could tell you. I asked Trisha, I said, Trisha, how far back you go? All I know, we going to Cambodia. That's all I know. That hurt me. Then I asked my dad. He was probably about 40 and 83. Dad, who is your granddad? I don't know. Why is it that we as a people, Hebrews, don't know, but yet every other nation knows, every other culture knows? Because it was intentional. Somebody turn Psalms 83, and somebody read verse 1 through 4. Psalms 83. He ain't saying nothing about Jubilees, just wait.
Psalm 83.
Verse 1 through 4. Come on with me, baby. Stay with me.
Oh, Elohim, do not remain silent. Do not be speaking.
He's telling the Most High, don't remain silent. Now, this is, I think, of some Asaph, one of the singers. Go ahead.
And do not be still, O El. For look, your enemies make an uproar.
Your enemies make a noise.
And those hating you have lifted up their head.
And those hating you have lifted their heads up.
They craftily plot against your people.
They craftily, what is being crafty, y'all? Slick. They craftily did what to the people?
Plotted against them.
Plotted against the people, and what else?
And conspired against your treasured one.
And conspired against the treasured one. Who was the treasured one?
We are.
Israel. All right, and then what did it say, Trish? I mean, Shay?
They have said, come and let us wipe them out as a nation.
Wait a minute. Come and do what?
Let us wipe them out as a nation. And let the name of Israel be remembered no more.
All right, did y'all see that? Y'all see that with your own eyes. Let's wipe them out as a nation now, so that the name of Israel not even exist anymore. What's the next verse say?
And for they have conspired together with one heart. They have made a covenant against you.
Wait a minute. They have conspired. What's conspired? Plot. With one mind and one heart, and they have made a covenant and agreement against the Most High. Now, the best way to do away with a people, erase their memory, erase their identity, erase everything that they remember, split them up, and give them a new religion.
And take away their birthright.
And what?
And take away their birthright.
And take away their birthright. Yeah. Now, did that happen to us as a people?
Yeah.
So that's evidence of us also being descendants, okay, of Israel. So if there's something in this Bible that frees you up and makes you know who you are and walk into your birthright or your inheritance, would I take it out the book?
Yeah.
Especially if somebody else has gotten your identity. Would I take it out the book?
Yeah.
If I do away with the wheel, you don't know you're in.
If I do away with the wheel, you don't even know in the wheel. Do y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hear what's being said in here? So the book, the word apocrypha, means that which is hidden. Jubilees is a lesser Genesis. It's considered one of the. You gotta make sure you're prepped. Because there are a lot of the books that were taken out in the pseudepigrapha, but there are a lot of added stuff. So you can't just because it says pseudepigrapha, you got one or two things in there. Test all things, hold on to that, which is 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Okay? Early Christians, as evidence, and so forth and so on, the text was also utilized by the community that originally collected the Dead Sea. Evidence that the Book of Jubilees is supposed to be in here. So now let's go to Jubilees. Did y'all bring y'all separate? You got it on your phone?
Yeah.
All right, if you got the one that you got free, you ain't gonna have Jubilees on there. So Brett's got Jubilees, but Brett, if you will you start reading Jubilee?
While he's doing that, and for anybody that wants it on their computer, you can actually, that word, that pseudepigrapha, you can actually go to that website and they have Jubilees there.
Yeah, okay.
PSEUDEPIG.
RAPHA.
Yeah, .com.
Pseudegraphic.com. And look up Jubilees. Now, Jubilees, let me say Jubilees also. Jubilees is divided into segments. Jubilees, every 7 years is free, right? Every 7 years you're released from your debt. Yeah. 49 years is also a Jubilee. That's a major Jubilee. So the reason it's Jubilee because it goes into segments. And when I started studying this, I asked a lot of questions, and I'm still digging. Go ahead, Brother Brett. I got myself up, but them words so little in that thing.
Yes.
I'm on the page. Also, you can go to ecmarsh.com. ecmarsh, marsh.com, and it also has Jubilees.
And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim, in the 3rd month, on the 16th day of the month.
Stop. Let me read you something. This is the history of the division of days of the law, the Torah, and of the testimony, of the events of the years, of their weeks or their jubilees throughout all the years of the world. As Yahuwah spake to Moses on Mount Sinai, when he went up to receive the tables of the Torah of the law and of the commandments according to the voice of Yahuwah, as he said unto him, go up to the top of the mountain. Now, Dad, some of you know what we would have said? That's kind of high.
That's a long walk, bro.
That's kind of high. I'm scared. Oh, no. We got a vote on it. Go ahead, Brother Brett.
On the 16th day of the month, that Elohim.
Now watch this. The 3rd month, on the 16th day. In the Hebrew culture, biblical culture, months don't have names. Days don't have names. That's why it says in the 3rd month. Now watch this. In your mind, based upon the way we've been raised up, what would be the 3rd month? March. Biblically speaking, the 3rd month, whether it's the first of the year comes, where they got it coming in March, sometimes they come in April. Let's just say April, May, June. April, May, June. June will be the 3rd month. And it says the 16th day. Now go ahead. That y'all spoke.
The Elohim spoke to Moshe, saying, come up to me on the mount, and I will give you 2 sapphire stones of the Torah.
Stop. What type of stone?
Sapphire.
Legend says that those sapphire stones, no matter what side of the stone you are on, it still look like you were reading. Right. So we would think it'd be backwards if you turn it over, but when you turn it over, guess what? It's the way it looked on the front. Keep going.
And of the commandment, which I have written, that you may teach them. And Moshe went up into the mount of Elohim, and the glory of Yahuwah abode on Mount Sinai.
Wait a minute. Look what happened. Who else went to Mount Sinai to learn about Yah and his Torah? Moses. Not Moses. New Testament. Shaul. After he had his experience on Damascus Road, and after he went and he left after all that, and he spent 3 years at Mount Sinai. Now, if everything started at Mount Sinai, don't you think that's a good place to go?
Yeah.
And so the Most High taught him personally there. Now, if the Most High taught Moses up there on Mount Sinai, could he not teach Shaul, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel it. Go ahead.
Two sapphire stones of the Torah and of the commandment, which I have written, that you may teach them. And Moshe went up into the mount of Elohim, and the glory of Yahuwah abode on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it 6 days.
How many days?
6.
Wait a minute. Now, see, that's what got me right there. Did he start on the first day of the week? And on 6 days he taught them, but on the 7th day he rested?
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Go.
And he called to Moshe on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud. And the appearance of the glory of Yahuwah was like a flaming fire on top of the mount. And Moshe was on the mount 40 days and 40 nights. And Elohim taught him the earlier and the later history of the division of all the days of the Torah.
Wait a minute. He taught him the beginning all the way up to the end. Man, what an honor it is to go before the Most High and let him teach you personally.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Go on, bro.
And of the testimony. And he said, incline your heart to every word which I shall speak to you.
Wait a minute. How many words?
Every
word.
You don't have to do that. You just go get the Cliff Notes. It'll tell you.
And write them in a sefer in order that their generations may be.
Wait, write it in a what?
Sefer.
What's sefer, y'all? Book. Now, I had some folks want to fight me one time because I said, the Bible, the name of the word Bible in Latin means book. Biblio, book. So it's a book. No, that's the Bible. I said, yeah, but it's a book. That's why they call us, the slave traders and the slave owners, they call us, these are the people of the book.
Uh-huh.
What book? The Sefer, the divine book. Read.
And write them in a sefer in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil which they have wrought in transgressing the covenant which I established between me and you for their generations this day on Mount Sinai. He keeps saying generations, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's not to them people. So that means, oh, I had so many revelations this week, y'all. I'm telling you. Go ahead, my friend. Read.
And thus it will come to pass when all these things come upon them, that they will recognize that I am more righteous than they in all their judgments and in all their actions, recognize that I have been truly with them. And do you write for yourself in all these words which I declare to you this day. For I know their rebellion and their stiff neck before I bring them into the land of which I swore to their fathers.
Stiff neck and rebellious. Now let me say something. As a people, now you do know there are people that don't know that they're Israelites, right?
Mm-hmm.
But are they Israelites?
Yeah.
That's right. Are they in covenant? Maybe not. So look at all the people that we've been sharing this with and how stiff-necked they are.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it at all. That's all I ever known, and this is all right with me. All you ever knew that your name was Tutu when you as a child, but then when you got old, you found out you had a name. Come on now, read.
To Abraham and to Yitzchak and to Yaakov saying, unto your seed.
Your what?
Your seed.
Seed. Offspring. Are you offspring?
Yes.
Will I give a what?
I will give a land flowing with milk and honey.
That's an abundant land. Now let me ask you a question. Is this the land he gave you?
Nope.
So why you keep praying for him to heal this land? He's out here, your land.
Yeah.
Where your land at?
Over there.
Somewhere else.
Over yonder. Yes, Trisha. Right here over here. Ain't no honey or no milk over here. Ain't nothing but torment over here.
But you know, that's what we always heard. And I mean, the reason I thought it was because you have just about everything.
Do you?
On what I'm aware of.
Okay, I feel you. I understand.
You have everything you could think of, want, or whatever. And so, and like I said, I heard it all my life, so naturally that's what I thought.
We've been taught things, but we forgot that the Bible says that he would take us to a land that was not ours.
Yeah.
A land that we didn't know.
Yeah.
A land where we would be enslaved. So you're going to either have, it's a land where we was enslaved or a land of milk and honey.
Remember the, go ahead.
Now, wait, but let me say this, Trish, Trish. There's many types of slavery. There's physical bondage slavery. There's mental slavery. And if you want to know the truth, African American Negroes, so-called, some of them like this, and some of them like this. You know how we know we're enslaved? Because we thought this was the land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
So my mind is still enslaved. It ain't free yet to know that they waited and beat me and castrated me and cut babies out of my wife and raped my wife and raped my brother and all this. And this is going to be a land of milk and honey, and I'm going to go somewhere else now. Real quick, I got to say. All right. I'm going to ask this question. I ask this question all the time. I don't care what color you are. If you're the slave master and you say you're Christian, and you make me a Christian, I'm a slave. Which one of y'all, which one of the most high here? Think about it. All right, if I'm a slave master and I'm a Christian, you my slave, and I make you a Christian, I make you a Christian.
Right.
And I'm praying for the Most High to keep y'all in check.
Right.
And y'all praying to get free.
That's right.
Something don't match with that.
I stand it.
Something don't match with that. Say.
No, I love how Sister P, how transparency is.
Yes, sir.
And that I mean, because I in my mind, I kept saying, well, how is that possible? Like, know what the word says now.
Uh-huh.
But then the point that you brought up about we will be in a land that is not ours.
Yeah.
So
we didn't read that.
It's contradicted. You know what I mean? But again, it's so powerful that you were saying about how we could be enslaved in our mind because there's so many people, especially in this season, that you see and you think, and they really think that they have arrived. Like they really think that they have had all that they need, but the reality of it is that they're enslaved.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but then it's also, it makes you think about what is it that's in you that you want.
Yeah.
If in your mind you feel like, hey, all I want is a car, all I want is a house, all I want is, money in my checking account or whatever, then maybe you have arrived. Maybe to you, this is the land of milk and honey. But that has a lot to say or a lot to do with the person's mentality or what they treasure. You know what I mean? For me, and I know all of us in here, because we seek his Yah and seek to be closer to him, then I feel like our understanding of what we look at and what we hold dear. My milk and honey is being able to understand the Torah. My milk and honey is me having the peace of knowing that I'm being obedient.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think it was Shaul who said, let this mind which was in Christ be in you.
Yes, Philippians.
So did Christ have the mind of his Father?
Yes.
He said, I only teach what, say what he tells me to say, and do what he, all right. So does y'all think like this, or does he think like this? Y'all sees generation. That's why he sees my offspring in me.
Yeah.
That's why he sees me in my dad. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So what happens, we get caught up in our life of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, and that we say, oh, this was a good life.
Yeah.
But Yah says, let's go back to the beginning all the way now. So now, if we look at that, you were brought to a land, Israel was brought to a land that they didn't know. They was brought to a land, and there were Israelites probably already over here. And not only brought to the land, but I'm going to change your name. I'm going to do everything I can to mess up your continuity of thought. Because if we are generational people, why is it now that you have African elders sit their children down and teach them their history from generation to generation? Why is it that you have other cultures that sit their children down and teach them from generation to generation? But I'm going to interrupt your generational flow so that you don't have a connection to where you came from. You'll only know where you are. So this is why we've been told over and over again, the land of opportunity. And so we look at this probably as the land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
And what I got to, but watch it, the average Negro can have some success on this land.
Yeah.
He can have a house, he owns land. He's doing good. But is that across the board?
No.
No, it's not. So based upon isolated or individual pieces of success, you can't speak for the whole.
No.
Go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. Trisha, then Josephine.
Now, talking about calling this place the land of milk and honey, or the promised land. Some people call you in the promised land. In the 80s, they were saying you was the promised land.
That's right.
They still say. So, in the mind of, I don't know what US is paradise.
That's right.
They come here, everything is rosy. They don't know what some people are going through here.
That's right.
When you show them the truth, they don't want to take it.
That's right.
So Pastor, over there is living honey?
Canaan, that's the land he promised. He didn't promise us America.
Okay.
He promised us Canaan. Palestine. Now, I'm going to say something very controversial. They call it the state of Israel, and it's a little portion. The land of milk and honey was a big piece of land.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to explain.
Okay. And go ahead.
But this, I always say that, remember, we separate everything.
Right.
You have to remember that Satan's sole purpose is to disconnect you from God.
Right.
Now, he wants to disconnect everybody, but the Hebrews especially, because those are the ones he loved.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in Numbers, see that when I say we need to study, start at the beginning, because if you start at the beginning and study, it answers questions and it put things in perspective. He gives a detailed description of the land. He tells you from this point all the way up to Mount Seir. And then from this point over, there was one group who said, we don't want that. We're cattle people. Can we have that land? Moses told him, you promised God that you would fight and take this land. Okay, we're going to send our men in to fight, but can we leave the women back here and build home? He said, okay, if you fight, we'll give you that land. But that wasn't even the promised land. It was the land. So if we go in knowing that, then we have to remember that Satan took Yeshua to the edge of the mountain. He said, all of this I can give you if you turn.
Right.
And see, so this is how we get tricked, because the truth is right there in front of you, but you don't read or accept the truth. And I just explained this to somebody else. And so you turn to another God. And when you worship that God, blessings do come, but they're not the blessings that he promised you. And in the end, those things that you looked at as blessings are curses because it permanently disconnects you from him. Now, unless you wake up and say, hey, you know what? I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Y'all, please, no. I'm going to obey your commandments even if I have to give all of this up. That's why, you know, when Pastor Darren says, those pastors say, no, because my congregation would die. Right then, they didn't choose their congregation. They chose the money that they were getting from their congregation.
In God we trust.
Instead of Yah and preaching. And he said, I'm going to hold you to a high level of accountability because you led those people astray.
That's right.
Those that I entrusted you to teach my word and my instructions to.
That's right.
So when we look at this, we can't separate it. We have to look at the whole story together. And when you look at the whole story together, then you say, wait a minute, then we step back. How can this land be the land of milk and honey when it was built off of the blood and the sweat and everything that you told us would happen in Deuteronomy has happened in this land? You've been separated from your child. Parents don't know your children have been sold. You've been ripped and torn apart. You suffered diseases that we didn't even know existed, didn't know, but they're described. So when you look at that, you say, this surely cannot be the land of milk and honey because as a whole, we are still suffering. There's a greater war against us now in these latter days.
That's right.
You look at now Satan has ramped it up because there is an awakening. And so now I have to deter. I saw a guy, I saw a guy talking, and this is my own belief. This is the Book of Bread that he used. Music it ministers to our soul. Yeah. It permeates every entry of eyes, ears, no, everything. And you look at how hip hop and the Hebrew culture, how it's taken. First of all, you see these young men in dapper suits. So you see these men hanging with their pants hanging down. Yeah. Women in the beginning, it was a fat woman, and you see her with her butt turned up and the drawers were going up to the crack of her behind, twerking. Not one. And her baby. And the little babies twerking. And doggone the adults putting money over the children for it. You're planting that seed. Yeah. You know, we say, but no, it is to pull the future. He's after our seed to pull the generations to come. That's right. To make them not, wait a minute, they're waking up. They're starting to teach their children, you know who we are. I got to come with something that cuts that off again, that separates those children away from those that are awakened. We look at the whole picture. It is a not unified, it is a global war. That's right. Where he has taken all of his tools and things, the very thing that he was responsible for. He uses it as a very tool. It's one of the main tools that pulls us away, our youth away from him.
Brett, go to the average church service. If they got a good choir and good music, you pack that stuff out.
And
the preacher can sing a little bit and tell a few jokes. You pack that thing out.
Yep, and I was explaining to most of the pastors, and you hear me say this all the time, they teach you from trying to teach a subject instead of teaching the word, and they scream and the scriptures instead of screaming and hollering at you. You don't remember nothing, and you make you feel good. They go, whoo, and you shout and you jump and I'm like, why are you doing all that?
That's right.
You know, but it's emotion. That's right. And it becomes a response. We separate. And so we look at them as the battle, the war. We look at them as all these little separate things. But if you look up over and you look at it and when we pull us away and we say, well, how come he has given, and I said this to a student who said, man, God bless me. I said, which God?
Right.
Ain't but one God. Even the Bible tells y'all says, don't worship any other God.
Yeah.
So if he says don't worship any other
Got to be
God,
some-
Gotta be
it's got to be some other God.
It's more.
Yeah.
You know, I said, what history, they say art, life is art is life, and history repeats itself and all of that stuff. And, I said, you look at all of these deities. Why is it that if you research some of the very things,
That's right.
all of this, and I actually had somebody, it was that teacher, she said she had never heard anything about Easter being a pagan. They don't celebrate. She said, I don't know anything about Easter. I didn't know that's a God. I'm like, yeah. And it just put you like, man, these are people you've been ingrained in that belief, and nobody ever has stopped and told you why y'all didn't celebrate.
Or why you do that's right.
And why you just say, we don't do that. And I said, it's excellent. And I said, you got to really research that. And I said, research the rabbit. I said, it's perverted. And I said, it wasn't 3 days anyway. If you count 3 days, that's Monday. So, but I'm sorry, but that's just.
All right, I've been holding on to this thought, so I won't forget it.
Hold on.
Okay, that's good.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's very good. I would never call that land Israel over there.
That's not it.
I would call it Palestine, because the Palestinians were on the land, and the Jewish people came and took the land. All right, so now the land will be named Israel when Israel returns.
Right.
That's why they can't call the land Israel. They call it the state of Israel, because it was done politically. BJ.
So, the land that we're supposed to be on it goes, how can I put it in words? It extends farther than the boundaries of Israel.
Yeah, it does. And what so-called Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right, go back. Somebody had something before you start reading.
I don't remember who said this, but I remember, to go back to the point that Greg made about a lot of the things that we do in church is paying homage to a deity.
Yeah.
And I remember us having a conversation about ushers and how they were so ceremonial in the way that they reacted in the congregation, almost to the way they wore white gloves, when they would put the offering plate, you know what I mean? And just, it was so ceremonial. And, I'm so glad that we got away from that. Because I remember as a child, the ushers had, it was almost like that pomp and circumstance type of thing. So I just wondered, what that was about. Like, you know what I mean? I always was curious about that, since he brought up the point of that being some, whatever, so.
You know what, since you mentioned about that, it's like the different, as they used to call them when we was in church, auxiliaries.
Right.
Whether it was the choir, the usher board, whatever, they always had these rules that they had. But a lot of times, even though you might have prayer before, what was not really taught was do everything with love. Do everything with kindness, and we left God. It got to a point where God was being left out of these different auxiliary board meetings. Whether he was over the church funding, he was over the church decorating, people started putting themselves into it, and y'all got pushed to the side.
Right.
So then that's when you start having dissension and stuff in the different auxiliaries.
That's true.
So he competed with this, who will bring in this much money, and it did not become because of what you want to give to him. It's all about status.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, as far as like, when you would see them taking up ties or whatever, or ushering people to their seats, it was really like, you can almost see the spirit on them.
Yeah.
I mean, even from a little girl, you can almost see the spirit on them, like, they had this pompous kind of, thing going on. And I just remember seeing that like, hey. And so when he said that, it made me think like, okay, I wonder what that has, what that has to do with, a lot of the stuff that we do, the Christian church.
All that land, all the way into Saudi Arabia area, is what's considered all of the continent of Africa.
Right.
Now, the land, what they are saying now, is on the same place that Egypt is on. So the people who've been living there for years, generations, have always said that that's Africa, Northeast Africa.
Egypt is or
Where we
so wait a minute.
They say that what shifted was there was an earthquake, a series of earthquakes or whatever that the land that they're calling like the Middle East, right? That the land they call the Middle East is actually Northeast Africa. That they all sit on the same tectonic plate as. So they just say that over a series of years or centuries or whatever, there was some shifts, and that's when they started doing it, trying to separate and call this land over here and this land over there.
Right, and you also have to remember, if you look at our maps compared to the oldest maps can be found, the geographical lines are nowhere close to the same. Because there's just so many changes over time, and you go off ancient maps.
In Africa, it's like people really have to work. I mean, I'm talking about physically, like wash. And over here, we go and Washington, just hand it to us over here. And
But
over
it-
there,
And it's labor, so.
you got,
You think that- I see what you
why? I'm speaking from my heart. Why
Yeah,
would I
yeah.
want to go over there and go through all of that?
Because he promised us.
Have to go over here.
You think it's easy now?
I don't think it's.
No.
But I mean, I think it's.
That's the deception.
convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the deception. Because and then the wash and pure with no chemicals. So which one is better? You go out and place it in America now, way out in the country, and they still wash the same way.
You ain't gotta go way out of the country. Come down to where I teach. You would be shocked that you see that not like one student, maybe 15 or 20 students, they don't have running water. They don't bathe from day to day. They take their parents literally. If they can't wash their clothes, you drive by and they got a creek running by their yard and you see clothes laying out on rocks. That's today.
And where is this?
Coosa County.
Can I say something?
Hold on, Shay, wait. You can go right out here on Jackson Trace Road.
Same thing.
Go down and turn right. Now they live there. They lived all the time I was a police officer. It's a house that literally looks like a log cabin. They have no lights. I answer the call out there. They have no lights. They sit out there. They got props in the back of the house. They don't have any electricity. Not even any wires running to the house. No running water. They got a pump well.
So watch this. So listen what's saying now. The same 5 families own the news. The same 5 families help start all the universities. The same 5 families own the banks. So if I own the news and I own the movies and I want you to think a certain way, what will I do? Show you what I want you to think. As Brother Jennings say, program you.
Yeah.
So we've been programmed to think this is the land of milk and honey, where you can go to the Appalachian Mountains up there in Virginia. Oh my. It looks worse than in the back in the woods in Africa.
Yeah.
It's worse. So watch this. Remember I told you how you gotta look like this
Yeah.
instead of where you are. Because where you are is limited. Shane.
I wanted to say that there's a reason why, the things are being revealed as far as food industry. Things are being revealed as far as the chemicals that have become, they revealed that things have been carcinogenic. And people are returning more to a more pure way of living. We've seen a movement, I would say, I don't know, the last 15 years, where there's been more of a returning to living off grid, simplifying, downsizing, all that type of stuff, growing your own food.
Getting out of the system.
You're talking about solar panels and hydro energy and all that type of stuff, because they want to get away from what has been ingrained in us for so long. And I praise God for the ability to, as a child, be friends with people who their parents had farms. We saw firsthand animals, and being able to, the food tastes different.
Yeah.
The way that they had it, their setup was different. It gave a different value of life, because it was like, if you didn't grow it, you didn't eat. If you didn't go and manage it, you didn't have it. From glam, they was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They would go out to the chicken house, get the eggs, go to the cow, get the cow, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm talking about this one. I was born in 74. So when I saw this was in the late 80s. So, and I'm talking about these people we don't do that. They slaughter their beef. They have beef for a year. You know what I mean?
No
the things that we look at, no chemicals, right? And they never really got sick. They never had, they didn't have to answer to or go to the grocery store and have to deal with, all that food.
No stress.
Every now and then, they would have to go into town for this or that, but it was very, very, very minute stuff.
Right.
So I think that what it is to go back even to the Torah, we're talking about, you change by the going on your mind. It's like I believe that it was part of the enemy's plan for us to become so, it's almost like we have been brainwashed into
Revelation 12:9. Revelation 12:9. Turn that. This is what you're talking about.
Okay.
Read that, Revelation 12:9. Then BJ, then Mark.
Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was thrown out. That serpent of
Who was the dragon that was thrown out?
Hasatan. He's the devil and Satan.
What did he do?
He leads all the world astray.
What word?
The whole world.
Everybody? King James said deceive the whole world.
Yeah.
So, do you see how it's been deceived?
Yeah.
Look at Abraham's, the promised land that God promised Abraham. Mm-hmm. That's what the Bible says. Now, do you see the arrow?
Yeah.
All right. That right there is the state of Israel. They say this is the promised land. Look what the Bible says is the promised land. How all the millions and millions of people going already crowded right here. How are the millions and millions of people that's going back to the land going to all fit in that little spot? You understand what I'm saying? So we've been deceived now. You got to understand that what I want you to believe, I put it before you over and over and over and over and over again. America is the land of plenty. America is the land of plenty.
The land of free.
The home of the brave, land of the free, home of the brave, whatever they say. All that. And then look here. Look, now watch this. Does the Bible tell us to, is there anywhere in the Bible that it tells us to pay allegiance to anything other than Yah?
No.
Then why in the world? That's why when they were talking about that doggone flag, I said they read their Bible, they see they ain't supposed to be standing up for that flag. But if you don't stand up for the flag and put your hand hard, then you are patriotic.
Yeah.
That's Jill, let me tell you something. Jill, watch how folks have a lot of stuff right now. They have a lot of stuff right. And every group has a part of the truth.
That's right.
And y'all trying to bring us into all the truth. BJ.
Back to what Sam was saying about the food. Down in the, island, when we do our grocery stuff at this, local chicken spot,
Uh-huh.
and like, they killed their chickens in the backyard. And
Right.
you can actually tell the difference between your KFC and
That's right.
roasted chicken that we eat over
That's not
here.
chicken.
Versus thinking like the meat is more tender and.
That's right.
More than the ones we eat here.
Well, BJ, let me tell you something. I'm thankful that I got a chance to see some of that and experience that.
Yeah.
But my Aunt Adele brought us eggs every Saturday morning from her chicken coop. My Aunt Adele and my mom and Aunt Minnie will go out and get a chicken out the chicken coop. And they wring his neck, they slug it, and we ate that chicken at the end of the day. So, my Uncle Luther would take us up into the mountain to a spring. They called it a branch. And the water was colder than it was in the freezer.
Yeah.
Coming off that mountain and had no taste.
Yeah.
And it was, you couldn't get enough of that water. It was just wonderful. So what we had has been polluted and almost destroyed
And perverted too.
and perverted. Marcia.
You know what it's coming to, and it's already begun, is that the whole world is being poisoned through the system. And so it's almost like God is forcing us to go back,
Right.
to turn around and go back to the beginning,
Uh-huh.
to what he asked us to do in the beginning.
In the first place.
Because the meat is being poisoned, the crop is being poisoned. And then you just passed the place over there by our house in Brecon, where the fields one day are empty, and you go back in a week and the corn is up past.
I don't know how that corn grow that.
So how is it done?
Monsanto, baby.
Right, and then we're consuming all this, and then we wondering why our bodies are
Why we
failing
sick?
us because of all these different pesticides, chemicals, things to make them richer, because it's making the cow fatter, which gives them more meat, it's costing us more money.
Yep.
They're getting more produce over something that should have been this size, that has become that size.
Yep.
And so, do we need to change? Absolutely. Is he probably he's probably getting us ready mentally and physically and spiritually to return. back
That's
to where
right.
we
Return
started.
to me and I'll return to you.
Yeah.
The powers that be, like the five families you're talking about, they know how to play on our mental humanness.
That's right.
Because if you're living somewhere and you see bad stuff somewhere else, but wow, we got millions of people, they fight to get where we're at.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's a mental game that they play with us. They're like, oh, well, we must have it good here.
Right.
But we really don't. But, and like what you said earlier about the washing machine thing, it's a perspective that we've grown accustomed to, right? It's like, you had house slaves. You couldn't take them and put them back out in the field because they got accustomed to
The house.
Right. In their mind, oh, I'm not a slave. I work in the house. No, you are.
Yeah.
You just had it good.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
We got an opportunity to talk to Martell. And we talked to him for I want to say 2 hours.
At least.
At least 2 hours. He came out of the house to return some tools they had borrowed. And him and Nate was outside talking long before I came out. We still ended up 2 hours. And he was just saying how the media, the news outlets and stuff like that, they'll show you this much.
That's right.
Of the land.
That's right.
This much. And everything else around it be plush and awesome and all.
That's
but
right.
this is what they'll show you
Right.
to deter you from wanting to be open.
Right.
So we were talking and he said, he was like, there was some rioting in a part of somewhere he was.
Morocco, yeah.
Right. And he said when they saw the news, they just they burned up this little thing. It was a dumpster on fire.
Right.
But the way that the news spent it,
Major
it
right.
looked like the town was burning down and
He
people
said they rode in the cab by him. They looked down and like, oh, somebody set a dumpster on fire.
right.
So over there, it was no big
Right.
thing, but they kicked it to us like, oh!
Right.
Well, now let me show you. I got you, baby. All right. Israel, the state of Israel, the United States, and Britain got us so jacked up
Yeah.
that we giving all our money to Israel thinking we're going to get blessed.
Yeah.
Because he said, I'll bless those that bless you. He ain't talking about the state of Israel. Now, watch this. The other day, they said they're bombing out of Gaza into Israel. They hit schools. They hit this. We got a friend in Israel. He said, I don't know where he's talking about. Ain't nothing happening over here. I live here. We don't hear no sirens. We don't see nothing. But the news by the time they got over here made you think so that you can hate the Palestinians and hate them and love Israel, the Israelis, and think they've been treated bad. And guess what? Bless. I'm going to send them some more money.
And we need to bomb them.
And we need to bomb them. So remind you, the whole world is being deceived.
Yeah.
He sent his word and it healed us.
Yes.
His word makes us free.
Yes.
His word causes us to see. That's why he has spoke the word. That's why Christianity, the devil has used Christianity to keep us dumb. Because as long as the preacher can tell you and you don't study for yourself, I got you. You're a sheeple. You're not people. Marsha.
Sister Alicia, our very own daughter, sister.
Right.
She posted this on Facebook.
Okay.
She said when she was young, she used to study the royal family throughout history. And I know they can't operate without a predetermined plan. They always operate to expand their kingdom. Here's some facts and what I suspect about this. Meghan and Harry, if you don't know by now, are cousins. They keep everything in the family because the bloodline is important. Even Princess Diana shared ancestry with the royal family, which is why she was chosen. The Queen has allowed them to be married so that the royal family could appease Black people. More so, keep them distracted so that no one will notice or care about what plans are going on in Africa or abroad as it relates to Black people. They most likely Black people will use the excuse about Meghan being biracial. They're being allowed to move to Africa to take over. That was the Chinese are Africa. The same thing right now. And they Africans are fighting to gain control of their own land. Why would the royal family move there at a time like this? Easy to regain control. So that's what it did before. And as they say, history repeats itself. You see, and so now they got peace that's going over there taking over the whole town.
Remember, the war of Armageddon will be all the nations of the world fighting over them. So everything is being set up for the end days. You got my hand. Do y'all see my hand? I'm going to show you what I want you to see. I can do what I want you to do.
Exactly.
I'm ready for That's right. That's right. Ain't that right?
Back and forth.
Yeah.
And then you take us out.
And it's not just the surface level. What motivates you to want this? It's common among all of them. Right.
You mean to continue now?
Yeah, read.
Okay.
See, I was saying breath for y'all coming again.
And thus it will come to pass when all these things come upon them, that they will recognize that I am more righteous than they in all their judgment and all their actions, and they will recognize that I have been truly with them. And
Wait a minute. Has he been with us?
Yes.
Does the enemy have a way to make you doubt it and forget that he's done all this stuff for you? Let me give a little quick testimony so you get back to this. He reminds me. Now, y'all know Marsha, she just started working and we're beginning to generate a little bit coming in there. I'm next. All right. But when there was nothing there, we had to ask him for everything.
Uh-huh.
I think he allowed us to do this because of the call on our life.
Yeah.
Some people he called, but some people he chooses.
That's right.
And I believe that I'm one of the ones that's been chosen. We've been chosen. This assembly has been chosen because we stepped past what was comfortable.
That's right.
Yep. She drives from Birmingham. Come on, that ain't comfortable.
Right.
We left Billy left on Sunday. Singing, dancers, everything. Plenty of money left over. So we got enough to pay the rent this week.
Right.
And so the way y'all does, this is how he does me every time. When I question him, instead of saying, Father, I just thank you for that bill being paid. I thank you for this. Daily bread.
That's right.
If I start with one, man, what are we gonna do? This is what I always hear. Have I let you down so far?
That's it. That's it.
And I said, no. And then I get peaceful. That's what he's telling them there. Haven't I done all this for you?
Yes.
He's done it for us. Listen. We got phone calls coming through the house where people got us praying for their family members, where they hear live today, and then all of a sudden they go to the doctor's office and they sick and don't even know what's wrong with them. And now they're in intensive care.
Yeah.
He is the healer.
Yes. Yes.
We have to remind them that he's the healer. We can't go by what they tell you.
That's right.
He's the healer. Now, here's another thing. If a person is tired of this earth and wants to leave, you can pray outside of a miraculous intervention.
That's right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You never shut up. And begin to accept and then deal with value the time that you have. Value the time, the great time. There are times when the enemy are trying to make me think about certain things that happened that was sad to me, and then I start laughing. And then I keep that process going instead of going back.
Right.
Right.
And do you know all the work chapter I've ever been in their stiff neck before I bring them into the land which I swore to their fathers, to Abraham and to him, I give a land for and these will prove unto them an affliction and as nation.
In range, and they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to strange gods. They will turn to strange gods, but in this little time, to see their own fortune. We not do that. Which cannot deliver them out of their tribulation. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them, but they will forget my commandments. And now don't look at just you. Look at us as a people. Did we forget his commandments?
Yes.
Only thing we gotta do is love God and love each other. He knows my heart. That's right. He knows my heart.
And pray for grace.
Pray for grace. And will they forget my commandments, all my commandments, even all that I commanded, and they will walk after the Gentiles. Did we not walk after the Gentiles? Paganism and Christianity. And after their uncleanliness, now wait a minute. I'm a Christian, I'm clean. You eat swine?
Yeah.
You eat shrimp?
Yeah.
You eat lobster? You eat all that? You ain't clean. Matter of fact, do you rest on the Sabbath? Am I still on the Sabbath? No, you ain't clean. Hey, did you fall all over the grave and touch your dead ain't? Yeah, you ain't clean. So y'all know we the only folks fall all over the casket. Okay. And many will perish. And these will prove unto them an offense and a tribulation and an affliction and a snare. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive and fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my ordinance and my commandments, my festivals of my covenant, my Sabbaths, and my. Did you notice they said Sabbath?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that today is a double Sabbath?
Yes.
Today is the 7-day Sabbath, but it's also a high Sabbath because today is the last day of what? unleavened bread. So if y'all still be eating white bread all week, and you better repent.
Right, hamburgers. Oh,
You know, I'm talking about that yeast. Yeah. So this is the last day of unleavened bread. So Sabbaths means that there are regular Sabbaths and then there are high Sabbaths where he tells you in it. Will y'all stand? No, don't stand. See if y'all remember this. Hold your Bibles up, please. Repeat after me. This is my Bible. I am who it says I am. I can do what it says I can do. I have what it says I have. But guess what they didn't add to it?
I will open this and read it.
And I will, who said that? And I will obey everything. They don't put that on there. It's all about have, do, and be. It's all about me.
Yeah.
Everything is about us. Hallelujah, Father. Thank you that we now know that it ain't about us. How you know it's about you? Watch it. I ain't going here no more because I ain't getting nothing. You ain't coming here to get nothing. You're coming here to fellowship and learn.
Yeah.
So if it's about you, then if you got something to give, why don't you give? Why don't you help us? Y'all, we've been messed up. We've been messed up. I did.
You stopped at my Kadesh, my holy place.
My commandments, my festival.
All right. Because they have forsaken my ordinances and my commandments and the feast of my covenants and my Shabbat, my Sabbath, and my holy place which I have sanctified for myself in their midst, and my tabernacle, and my sanctuary, which I have sanctified for myself in the midst of the land, that I should set my name upon it, and that it should dwell there.
Stop right there. Stop right there. All right. Here in the wilderness, they had a tabernacle.
Right.
The tabernacle is not for us to live there; it was for the dwelling of the Most High. When they got to the land, they built a temple, and the Most High dwelt between the seraphims, or he met them between the seraphims in the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. I did a study this week trying to figure out what his third temple gonna be for him. The Jewish people are going to build a third temple for the Messiah that they say is already here. Okay. The Bible says that he will sit on the throne and he will reveal himself as the son of perdition. It'll be the enemy. The scripture tells us that the temple will be made without hands.
Right.
Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Most High? And been paid with a price. Do you know that in the end time, his name will be written on your forehead? His name will be written, his real name. So somewhere along the line, and see, that's a big debate we had last year about we got to go to Jerusalem and to do the three pilgrimage feasts. If we live over that, yes, we need to go to Jerusalem, the place. But right now, we got an issue. We don't even know what the real Jerusalem is.
You know.
And there is no temple. So now, if he said, do this in all your dwellings from generation to generation, if there's no temple and there's no, we don't know Jerusalem, does that negate you from observing the feast?
No.
No. He says what he means and means what he says. We got to put it in the right context, put it in the right thing. Because I remember the first thing we was taught when we started doing this way and having read by the brother who spent time with Hebrew rabbis. He says, in the millennial reign, guess what? We will have, when we're over there in the land, we will have to go to Jerusalem 3 times a year. So when you look at that, why would y'all tell us to come over there and do it? Yeah, Paul did it in Troas. They did it in Crete. They did it in the wilderness. They did it over here in Ephesus. They did it in Corinth. So somebody got some stuff twisted up there. It's not that it's wrong that you're supposed to go over there. You just got to put it in the right perspective. When we over there, We should go to the land. If you can get there, get there. Now, can you imagine all of us right now every year want to do the pilgrimage feast, and we getting up our money to go to Jerusalem 3 times a year
To walk around.
to walk around
Cause you,
and spend money?
well, no, I'm saying walk around because you just be searching.
Yeah, ain't nothing, you ain't no telling.
We're just going to a tree, like Messiah.
We're going to spend money. That's the biggest tourist place in the world.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, read.
And they will make to themselves high places and Asherah poles and graven images.
Stop. High places. In the Bible, high places mean a place where they worship. It was a grove. He said grove built a place where they had Asherah poles. How many Asherah poles do you see now? Every December 25th, you see a replica of the Asherah pole sitting in somebody's house as a tree. He told them to do that. How on top of churches, what do you see? Asherah pole. Steeple. In every city, go to the graveyard or somewhere in that city where you're going to see an obelisk. That's an Asherah pole. If we don't read, we perish for lack of what?
Knowledge.
So if we don't have no knowledge, we'll keep stumbling and fumbling in this land of plenty. I think it's a land of consumption. A land of consumption because people go come over here just so they can have things and be consumed by the things that they have. Think about it. I was mentored by a white millionaire and a black and an Iranian millionaire. White millionaire told me, he said, things get tough back home. He said, I've been making my million the 7th time. I done bankrupt 6 times. I'm gonna make my 7th million. Don't feel bad, it make you feel bad. He said, but that's just protection for you to start all over again. The Iranian millionaire told me this. He says, money's not everything, but it makes me feel better. When I came over here, my daddy was a governor under the Shah of Iran. When the United States turned their back on the Shah of Iran and left them to fend for themselves, they ran to the United States, the land of plenty, because they don't protect us. I want y'all to see the Vietnam movie. Y'all got to see it. And because it's going to show you that. They get over here. Guess what he does when he gets over here? He sells watches on the street because he has a freedom to do it. So now he's selling watches. He had 1 pair of pants. He said he washed them every day. And he ate 1 McDonald's burger every day. But he sold watches. One of the first person he sold a watch was Johnny Williams. Well, guess what? At the moment that he was telling me that story, he lived over there in an affluent part of Atlanta. He had a Jaguar. He had a mansion. He had all this, and he owned 3 businesses. Now, what did he come over here doing? Selling watches, knockoffs. But that's the land of the free. That's the land of plenty. They have freedom to do what they couldn't do in their land. Now, when Africans come from Africa over here, they are totally shocked. They're not Africans. They're from the continent. Africa has about 50 nations. Am I right, Sister Tricote?
Yes, and more than 50 countries.
More than 50 countries in it.
Yes.
So when someone comes over, they don't tell you they're African. She's a Ghanaian.
But when you say you are from Ghana, they don't know. They ask you, where is Ghana? So then you have to say it's from.
If you don't say Nigeria or South Africa, they won't know nothing.
Right.
So they over there, because of colonization, sometimes I'm limited as to what I can do. But guess what? They didn't show me the vision of America. And when Nigerians or people from the continent of Africa come over here, they literally see what's not being shown. It freaks them out because the only thing they show over there about us dark people, rapping, booty rumping, twerking, drug dealing, shooting each other. And that's why they come over here untrusted and scared of everybody. Y'all, I'm telling you, search it out for yourself. Marshall, then we're going to go.
The thing is that before they even come on here, they're taught what to look out for.
That's right.
That black people, that they steal, they kill, they destroy, they ghetto. And so all of these things are in their head when they come over here. And usually when they come over here, they come in groups and they have good credit. they're issued these social security cards, they are able to get loans, they're able to open up businesses and all those things because they are considered trusted people.
Yeah, Greg, sorry.
I met this lady, she was from some part of another country, and, she was blacker than me. But she said she wasn't black. I said, well, you know what, I'm praying for you, and kept moving. Because she has been brainwashed to think that, because she's from another country, but she's not black.
Right. So what they're doing, they're not looking at the complexion, they're looking, calling black if you're a Negro in America. Right, Greg.
She did.
And they will worship each his own graven image so as to go astray. And they will sacrifice their children to devils and to all the works of the error of their hearts.
Now, you got to understand, our ancestors sacrificed their children. They began worshiping the god Moloch, Baal, or Lord. They began worshiping him, and they began doing like those people of that nation by sacrificing their children to Baal. Now, do you know that's still going on?
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, our government here in America, Hollywood, all of them do baby sacrifices. Over there in Europe, they do baby sacrifices. They're told that the sacrificing that young blood gives them strength, gives them superpowers. It gives them, especially if they get a dark one. If they get a dark one, what they do, they try to, when you are scared, you emit this chemical adrenaline and some other things. So while they are torturing these children, they drink their blood. Why? Because in that chemical, it's going to give them, they feel super strength. Y'all, we are so,
Right.
He wakes us up so we can know the truth.
Right.
Go ahead, man.
And I will hide my face from them.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I will deliver them into the hand of the other people for captivity.
So, Trisha, did you hear that? I will do what? Deliver them into the hands of what, Brad?
Captivity.
Captivity. Just because you got a job don't mean you're free. You still can't go where you want to go and do what you want to do. I tell you what, Trisha, I want you to drive over here on the south side of town. Nah, let's go. Baby, over there where Creflo and them live, I want you to go over there and try to get you a house. You black, you can go over there. You ain't got the right color and the right credentials behind you, you ain't coming in there. The right color over there is in God we trust in green.
I think he accidentally skipped 20.
20.
12?
Read 20.
I read that all the way back up to 12, and here it says, and they will make to themselves high places and Asherah.
Yeah, but you read that.
Oh, that was the, mine is.
Yeah, it's
There might
different.
be a little different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep reading again.
And I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hand of. I read that. No. And for them, I will deliver them into the hand of the other people for captivity and for prey and for devouring, and I will remove them from the midst of the land.
For what? To be what?
For devouring.
You know what devour means? To destroy, to be ate up.
And I will scatter them among the other people. And they will forget all my Torah and all my commandments and all my judgments, and will go astray to new moons and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees and ordinances. And after that, they will turn to me from amongst the other people with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength. And I will gather them from amongst all the other people, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul. And I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and I will remove them from the plant of uprightness.
Okay, hold on. Did you see all that he just promised you? That's blessing right there. To take you out of the curse. We think because you get some money, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's the fruit of being blessed.
Yeah.
That's just a byproduct. Got a new car, look what he blessed me with. That's a byproduct of you being blessed. You are blessed because he has found favor with you.
Yeah.
And people envy you because of your relationship with him. You have peace of mind. Let me tell y'all something. You can't put a price tag on peace of mind. If anybody here ever had turmoil in your brain, when that peace came, it was like, whew, thank you, Father. I would look at, if somebody said, Daryl, did you marry this woman? And she known to be crazy. She done killed her last 7 husbands. She done robbed 3 banks. But she loaded. You marry her, you will have all the money in the world. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'm there with all this money. I got me I got a day and a nighttime there.
Wow.
I got a wardrobe bigger than this church. I got a closet bigger than I can go in there and pick anything I want. But at night, I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
Right.
Oh man, I can't take this no more. But when I find peace, hallelujah. Oh, shadallah. Yeah, look. Kevin was about 4 or 5 years old. And we was talking, we got happy one day. He said, shadallah. We said, what's that? He said, I'm speaking in tongues. So now, folks all over the United States that I know, if I say shadallah, they just bust out start laughing. They know the story. Go ahead, Brett.
And they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse. And they shall be the head and not the tail. And I will build my sanctuary in their midst, and I will tabernacle with them. And I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them nor fail them, for I am Yahuwah, Elohim. And Moshe fell on his face and prayed and said, Oh, Yahuwah, Elohai, do not forsake your people and your inheritance, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts. And do not deliver them into the hands of their enemies or the other people, lest they should rule over them and cause them to sin against you. Let your mercy, O Yahweh, be lifted upon your people, and create in them an upright ruach, and let not the ruach of Belial rule over them to accuse them before you, and to ensnare them from all the cycles of righteousness, so that they may perish from before your face. But they are your people and your inheritance, which you have delivered with your great power from the hand of
They are whose people? They're his people. And what else did he say, Brett? After that, your people, your what?
Your inheritance.
We are his inheritance, y'all. Now, let me ask you. In you, the whole world will be blessed. Who invented just about everything out there? Who gave free labor? Who built everything that's out here? How did all the banks get their wealth?
Stealing it.
We were the first stock market. We were the first product on the stock market. So the whole world has been blessed through us. But guess what? There's a time of the first shall be, and the last shall be first. Read, Brett.
And Moshe fell on his face and prayed this. Oh, no, I already did. Let your mercy, O Yahuwah, be lifted up upon your people, and create in them an upright ruach, and let not the ruach of Belial rule over them, to accuse them before you, and to ensnare them from all your cycles of righteousness, so that they may perish.
Read that word, Baal. Spell that word, Baal. You said Baal something.
It's Beliya apostrophe A-L. Belial.
That's the devil. That's it. Go ahead.
But they are your people and your inheritance, which you have delivered with your great power from the hand of the Mitzrayim. Create in them a clean heart and a Ruach HaKodesh, and let them not be ensnared in their sins from henceforth until eternity. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, I know their contrariness and their thoughts and their stiff-neckedness, and they will not be obedient until they confess their own sin and the sin of their fathers. And after this, they will turn to me in all uprightness, and with all their heart and with all their soul, and I will circumcise the foreskin of their heart.
He's going to circumcise what?
their heart.
Do we not see that in the scripture, in the Torah? Do we not see that even all through that? Now, look, did you see how Moses prayed for those people? Let me give you a testimony. Years ago, when we were a Christian church, years ago, I had an elder who was turning the people against me. And he was beginning to teach them that what I was saying was wrong and all of this. And I started seeing people walk away from me that had been loving us. And Moses got on his what, y'all? What did Moses do to intercede? He got where? On his face. Me and my first wife, we came down here on this stage and we laid on our face and asked y'all to have mercy on the people that was creating the vision and to reveal everything that was that was coming. How about that was on a Friday? That next week we had an office over there, Project Impact. The first lady came, sat me in the car where this elder was going to the hotel with her daughter, and she didn't like it. And she went up to the hotel and banged on the door, and they wouldn't let her in. The next 2 days, another set of parents came to me and said, one of the ministers at your church is taking my wife, taking my daughter up on the mountain at 4 a.m. Wow. Every last one, 3 times that week, someone came and told something on that elder. Then we had about 9 of those people who were in that prayer group, because he was over the prayer, came and repented. One of them said, I don't know what's, I've been feeling funny. You're a good man. You didn't did nothing to us, but I didn't hate you. I said, well, I don't know, but I want you to forgive me. Another lady, she come here now. She's in gas, and Sister Eno. She said, Pastor, you're a good man. She said, well, I don't know why I'm not liking you. All of them was in that class. He was putting subconscious thoughts in their mind. And then so when I corrected him, we brought him in, the elders, we brought him in to ask him, what do you have to say for yourself? Guess what he said? Oh, I see what y'all do. If I wanted, I could take 40 people with me right now. You see how the enemy exposed? And so this is what I was thinking. All we want you to do is repent and get right. We don't want you to go nowhere. He got up, started hollering and screaming and praying in tongues. And I said, we've already prayed. He said, not on the level I'm praying. Wow. Witchcraft. Try to instill fear. And we just sat there looking at him and began to. And I said, what do you have to say for yourself? He never admitted to any of it. He says, he blamed the other elders and said that they were trying to put something on him, and they didn't. So guess what I did? I said, I love you, but if you're not going to repent, I'll ask you to leave. Oh, I see how it is. No, it's not like that. I love you, and I don't want you to leave. But in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, I've had 2 sets of parents to complain against you. Then we've had someone that confess that they've been with you. That's 3 people. So if you're not going to, if you're not going to repent and you still deny, this is not the place for you. Yeah, things changed when they left. Everybody came back together stronger. You understand what I'm saying? That's spiritual warfare. And if you don't recognize it, you be jacked up. Read, Brett.
And I will pray in them a Ruach HaKodesh.
Y'all know what the Ruach HaKodesh is?
Yes.
What is Ruach HaKodesh?
Set apart spirit.
The set apart spirit. What do we call that in Christianity? The Holy Spirit. Y'all do know the word holy. When we start doing the word holy, the word set apart, kadosh. Holy has another etymology. So in your spare time, look up the word H-O-L-I. Go ahead, Brett.
And I will cleanse them so that they shall not turn away from me from that day unto eternity. And their souls will cleave to me and to all my commandments, and they will fulfill my commandments, and I will be their father, and they shall be my children.
In that what? That day? Is this the day? We're in that day, y'all, because everybody's turning back to him. People waking up everywhere. All over the world, Gentiles, Israelites, everybody is turning to y'all. Read.
And I will be their father, and they shall be my children, and they shall be called children of the living Elohim.
Stop, go back to Malachi. Somebody turn to Malachi 3. I think it's Malachi 3. It might be Malachi 4, where it says, I will turn the hearts of the children to the father, and turn the hearts of the father back to the children. Malachi is a prophet, he's prophesying. Y'all see, I think it's might be Malachi around the end of the 4th chapter of Malachi. I may be wrong, maybe in the end of the 3rd chapter.
Is that Malachi 2:7 from the days of your fathers you have turned aside from my laws and did not guard them? Turn back to me and I shall turn back to you.
Okay, do you see where it's at? He shall turn the hearts of the children back to the fathers and the fathers back to the children. That might be in the 4th chapter of Malachi.
3 and 7.
Where it says he would turn the heart.
Return unto me, and I will return unto you, said Yahuwah.
Okay, now where it talks about the fathers.
Oh, that's 4 and 6. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers.
Do you see them talking about that same thing in Jubilees? Did you see he just read that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now what has happened now? We have awakened and we are respecting Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the fathers. We have turned back to them. And now they have turned to us what? The Spirit has turned to us. Why? It's in the Torah. Keep reading.
And they all shall be called children of the living Elohim, and every angel and every ruach shall know. Yea, they shall know that these are my children, and that I am their father in uprightness and righteousness, and that I love them. And do you write down for yourself all these words which I declare to you on this mountain, the first and the last, which will come to pass in all the divisions of the days in the Torah, and in the testimony, and in the weeks, and the jubilees unto eternity, until I descend and tabernacle with them throughout eternity.
All right, in the last days, what's going to happen? And we will see Jerusalem coming down, New Jerusalem coming down, and he's going to dwell with us forever. He's prophesying something that's getting ready to happen, and we're getting close to that time, y'all. We're getting close. Keep reading.
And he said to the angel of the presence, write for Moshe from the beginning of creation till my sanctuary has been built among them for all eternity.
Wait a minute. Write for Moshe, of Moses, from the beginning of creation till my sanctuary has been built among them for all eternity. If there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, how in the world is building a new temple in Jerusalem going to last forever? Somebody that lied to you. Go.
And Yahuwah will appear to the eyes of all, and all shall know that I am the Elohim of Israel, and the father of all children of Jacob, and king on Mount Zion for all eternity.
How long?
All eternity.
Keep reading.
And Zion and Jerusalem shall be holy, and the angel of the presence
Zion, Mount Zion, and Jerusalem shall be holy, set apart.
And the angel of the presence who went before the camp of Israel took the tables of the divisions of the years from the time of the creation of the Torah and the testimony of the weeks of the Jubilees, according to the individual years, according to all the number of the Jubilees, according to the individual years. From the day of the new creation, with the heavens and the earth shall be renewed, and all their creation according to the powers of the heaven, and according to all the creation of the earth, unto the sanctuary of Yahuwah shall be made in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, and all the luminaries be renewed for healing and for peace and for blessing.
What's the luminaries, y'all? What are the luminaries?
The sun.
The stars, the lights, the sky, all of them will be renewed for what?
For healing.
Healing and what? And for what else?
And for
And
blessing.
Blessing who?
the elect of Israel.
No. And then what's going to happen?
And that thus it may be from that day until all the days of the earth.
Y'all, this talking about you. This talking about you. You ain't just some slave. You ain't just some boom, some jigaboo. You ain't no local. You ain't none of that. Those are bywords. You know what that was, did you? You looked at me real funny then. All right. You are Yasharah. You are Israel. You're the elect of Yah. We are the commonwealth of Israel. We are a nation loved by Yah. Now, I'm gonna let y'all get back on next week. I'm gonna do chapter 2, and I'll be finished. We can get back to what we were doing. And Brother Nate and Brother Tommy, I want them to be ready. We gotta find out what's going on. Tommy, she said it was a mental thing, so we gotta find out what's going on there, so we can get him where he's supposed to be. Because he taught a wonderful lesson on sowing and reaping. Wonderful lesson, deep revelation. They taught a wonderful lesson on worship. All of y'all who listen, you ain't need watch this now. Josephine, I want to share something. And Josephine want to share something with revelation. If y'all has given her and blesses us, then so be it. But we are here to iron sharpen and iron. We're here to learn from each other, to search the scriptures. So I just want to let you know, just study, and one more time, study. Yes, ma'am.
Because of where we are in time, either we're gonna draw close to him or draw farther away.
Uh-huh.
And so the worshiping of God is through studying.
Yeah.
And the more we study, the more he lives within us. Because his word is strong. Everything in his word is him. But if we are consumed with the cares of the world, then all those other things come: depression, worry, strife, pride, all of those things. But the more we study, the more his ruach comes inside.
Yeah.
And we become more like him.
More circumcised.
And you don't worry. The peace of God comes upon you by learning about him. He said, if we have perfect peace.
Yeah.
So he can't lie. And even if you go and do something, if you pick up the word and start studying the word, it'll change your whole feeling because you'll get consumed with him.
With him.
As opposed to being consumed with the word.
And when your mind is on him, you'll be a what?
Perfect peace.
Perfect peace.
Perfect.
Hallelujah. If you consume with what ain't going on right, or consume what you think ain't going on right, you won't have no peace. If you consume with the cares and your stuff, you won't have no peace. I'm trying to tell you, peace comes when you consume yourself with him. Me and Mark was talking yesterday. This is what we said. We said, isn't it wonderful to be in a relationship where you don't have to worry if your mate gonna cheat on you?
Yeah.
That's a peace there. Because I know some brothers, man, they can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
Wife on third shift, they can't sleep. They wonder what she doing. I know some sisters, the husband go to the store, bitch. I wonder where he at, what he doing. A lady come to the house and sell some insurance, and then she can't even buy no insurance for looking at the lady, thinking her husband want the lady. So when you spend time with him, getting to know him, guess what? It brings you peace. Any comments, questions, observations? We thank you for the offering that we received today, and those of you who can give a little bit more, we got a thing coming up Monday that turns the light on and off. You can put a second thing over there in the envelope, say, Pastor, for that I sure appreciate it. Hallelujah. Because y'all don't want to see us over there with cameras. All right. All right. No comments or questions? Huh?
I wanted to say, you know, when you were talking about
Wait, Sister Tricia is asking, then you next, Betty.
it was really a statement.
Go ahead.
You know, how we be close to different people.
Yeah.
That's even in friendship.
Yeah.
You don't always be close to your blood family.
Yeah.
You sometimes be a closer friend to.
You know you said it.
A person that that you don't, that you.
That ain't no relation.
That you just met.
That's right.
So it's, when it comes to friendship or being close with people, blood sometimes don't always have a lot to do with it.
You know you're saying the truth. You know you're saying the
But
truth.
the word saying you have a friend that sticks
Closer than a brother. That's right. All right, Sister Ben. Shalom. Yeah. That's right, Miss Parker. That family. Miss Parker means family, y'all. Yeah. Right. Right. That's right. That's right. No man knows the day nor the hour. That's right. Let me tell you something. They got about three times they say he doesn't come back. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Everybody has a little piece of truth and a whole lot of lies. That's true. Woo! That's right. That's true. Thank you so much. We have a cousin. He woke up. He was getting ready to be made an elder in the Watchtower Society. And he woke up and found truth. When he woke up and found truth, he questioned the elders at the Watchtower right here in Charlotte. He questioned them and asked them, well, how come all these times the Messiah came back and the world has come to it, it's supposed to come to end, and how did we miss all this? Who started this religion? He went with what? You know he's the devil now, right? They excommunicated him, but he left. But how about his mama, my cousin? You know, the first thing she said. Now he live in Virginia or Carolina. We talk every now and then because he's saying what we teach. Oh, you got that from Darryl. I got the blame for it. I don't even know when he woke up, but I got the blame for it. Hallelujah. Father, we thank you for your word today. We thank you for the awakening. We thank you for our family, our community here. We thank you for those that you sent. We thank you for those that we lift up Brother Duran's wife, that she's threatening every day. We thank you that when the day comes, it'll be a safe, wonderful delivery.
Yes.
We pray for those who are sick and those who are going through some things. Father, you first have mercy upon those that need mercy, and convict those that need convicted, and begin to touch their hearts and pull the scales off their hearts and eyes. In the name of Yahushua, we thank you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, y'all. Sister Betty, we had a little problem with this thing today, but I think we finally got it. I got about it was the internet. Yeah, we started at 2 hour time. Yeah, it messed up. Well, see, here's the deal. We've been putting it on at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock your time, and most people have to sit through us eating. So I said I'm gonna start starting exactly when we teach at 2 o'clock, for your time. Yeah. All right. Shabbat shalom, sister. Have a wonderful day. Hallelujah, y'all. I got so many Zooms open. Is she still asleep? No, she ain't either. My eye. Give me water.
I mean, the water,
And when I get there.
that's all, don't you? That's the same, I mean, I think that's the weekly thing.
Oh, so you wanna say?
How you doing, man? You all right? What's up, what? Oh, good.
Yeah, it came apart because you pulled it.
All right. Hey, we're gonna, when I get my, come on in.
Joshua,